Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. I did not know the corner in a corndoga meant it was made out of cornbread until I was 26. Update. Okay, since so many people obviously never knew this, also figured I would tell the story about how I found out. My wife and I were at a Cookout, North Carolina fast food chain drive-through, and I ordered, like I usually do, a Cookout tray, spicy chicken sandwich, fries, and a corn dog. As we were waiting to pay, I just randomly thought, I wonder why corn dogs are called corn dogs. So I asked my wife, expecting her to say she did not know. She replied, because the hot dogs are battered in cornbread mix and deep fried. The corner in a corndoga means cornbread. Oh. At this moment my mind was completely blown. I just looked at her with this look of astonishment, just thinking to herself, no way, I spent the past 26 years of my life eating corn dogs and cornbread, and never putting two and two together. I had no words and just could not wrap my head around it. The way she acted made me feel like I was the only one to not know that. So it's nice to know I'm not alone here. End of story. Next story. I keep secretly farting at the same time that my boyfriend is. But he doesn't know it. We ate Mexican food tonight. The rest is history. We both have the worst gas. I'm holding him in and secretly farting every time he does. He's so ashamed and apologizing because he thinks the smell is 100% his fault. Section, half I. End of story. Next story. I'm a grown man. And I exclusively sit down to pee. Started when I would wake up in the night and did not want to turn the bathroom light on. Also did not want to piss all over everything. Now I don't see why all men don't do it this way. Why stand when you can sit? Winston Churchill. End of story. Next story. I stole my neighbor's dog. For some context, my neighbors have neglected their dog since they got it. Pretty much. They hit it when they are mad sometimes and leave it outside in their yard overnight if it does something bad, like getting on the couch. They complained about this to me, and overheard conversations they had. The fence that separates my yard and theirs is a 6-0 wire fence. My house was weird. It was a 2-family apartment building turned into a house. The bottom floor I rented out anyway. But from my kitchen, which was on the way top of the house, had a balcony, and it was a porch, and there were stairs that lead down to another porch, and if you went down the next thing of stairs it'd bring you to the yard. I had been planning to move anyway, as the next week I'd be moving in with my girlfriend of 6 years. And I'd always wanted a dog. And they were abusing and neglecting theirs. I went out to Home Depot and bought some wire clippers, a box cutter, and a huge ass box the guy gave to me for free. It had a lid, not a foldable top. When I got home, I put some blankets inside the huge box with a doggy treat I picked up for a few cents at the pet store. The dog was a big fluffer. I waited for them to send their dog outside for the night. It was hooked to a 2-foot leash attached to volley pole in the middle of their yard. I've always noticed they usually shut the lights off for bed around 8 o'clock to 8:30. I waited on the top of my balcony at 8 o'clock. Lights off at 8:18. Waited until 8:45 to be sure. When I struck. I quietly trotted inside, grabbed the box and stuffed the wire clippers and box cutter inside and tiptoed down into my yard and up to the fence. The dog saw me and tried to run to me, but could not even get 3 full steps before the leash rammed into his throat. I struggled to cut the fence open, but I got a huge hole open. I'm a tall guy. 6'2". So I just grabbed the box and lifted it over the top of the fence, and as dumb as this sounds, I tried to drop the box as quietly as I could. I crawled through the hole and got up to the dog and gave him a pet. Something Heidi clearly not had in a while. I grabbed the box cutters and poked some holes in the top of the box. Then I started cutting into his leash. He was being quiet and not making a move at all. I'm surprised he didn't bark. But I got through the leash, grabbed him and put him into the box, gave him one quick pet, and put the top on. I slid the box through the hole and followed after. I picked the heavy box up and walked up my stairs to my kitchen. It worked. I cuddled him and played with him and pet him until around 10 meters when he barked. I grabbed him, ran to my bedroom and went to sleep. I practically didn't leave the house besides when I bought dog food and when I brought it to my car. I just packed it into an Amazon box and taped over the top. I walked past my neighbors and had gotten away. They never put up posters. They asked me about the fence and I expressed frustration. In his words are, I never gave a shit about that dumb dog anyway. Well, I did. The week was over before I knew it. I did the box trick with him and put him in my car, having the movers trail behind me. I took off the top in the car so he could enjoy freedom. Lock me up if it's wrong. I believe I did good. Wallace loves his new home. End of story. Next story. Dear Stepdad. Dear Dad. Dear Stepdad. My biological father delivered me to you when I was 6 years old with a bike in a box at your door. Step. Thank you for carefully reading instructions, putting my bike together, and taking me to recreational park and telling me that I didn't need training wheels anymore. Dear Stepdad. Thank you for taking me to the movies. Thank you for being patient with me when I asked questions or said inappropriate things when I was just learning social cues. Thank you for acceptance. Dear Stepdad. I never really had a family that gathered at holidays, at least not before I can remember. Thank you for the Grandma and Opa. And my Aunt Insky and Uncle Brian. You gifted them to me. I remember Grandma and Opa took me to see dinosaurs in live action. I fell asleep on the ride home. You never woke me to bring me inside. You carried me in. I woke slightly when you put me over your shoulder. But I was too tired to walk, so I just pretended to keep resting. Dear Stepdad. I'm sorry I resented you as a teenager. The Amana that was supposed to love me from birth walked away. And as a child, I couldn't understand a true man walking up offering me love and guidance when he had no obligation. I didn't understand. That must have been hard for you. Dear Dad. I'm sorry it's taken me this long to call you Dad. Thank you for being my dad when you never had to be. It feels good to say I'm going to call my dada and have you answer and tell me everything. We'll be okay. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.